So, Mr. Patterson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So, item 13, AB 1067.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. The chair, Mr. Santiago, will remember seeing this a couple of times. It is identical to what came before. For the new members, this bill is named after Gavin Gladding. He was a beloved vice principal from Clovis, California, who was tragically hit and killed in the early morning hours while he was out for a run in 2018. The driver who killed Gavin did not stop, did not help. As Gavin lay there clinging to life, the driver fled the scene. Right now, there is a perverse loophole in the law which encourages drivers under the influence to flee the scene of an accident, not to stay and to help. By fleeing, they can purposefully avoid additional charges for DUI, causing injury or death. AB 1067 attempts to close to some degree that loophole by reducing an incentive for a driver to flee the scene and help prevent future tragedies. Here to tell Gavin's story and to testify in support of the bill is Gavin Gladding's mother, Rita, and following Rita, we'll hear from Mike Osaguda, who will share his story of Courtney Osaguda.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready, you both have 5 minutes altogether.
All righty.
Split
Good
up
morning.
anytime.
Good morning, Chairman, members. I'm Gavin's mother. This is the fourth time since 2019 Assembly Patterson has brought us this appeal before you. I'm a fighter, a two-time breast cancer survivor, and since September 16th, 2018, a grieving mother. I forwarded each of you a book. This is a book that I wrote for our foundation. It's a short book, as Gavin had a short life. My son possessed a gravitational sphere for drawing people to him. 2,000 persons attended his funeral. He was an exceptional man. This August, 2.1 miles of the road Gavin was running on will be dedicated in his name. Gavin was one of 978 pedestrians killed in California in 2018. Nationally, 1 in 4 pedestrians are killed by hit-and-run drivers each day. The unlicensed driver who struck Gavin from behind chose to leave the bloody scene. Gavin was still alive when Rogelio Olivares Maravilla sped away. This killer hid out for 5 days, rid his system of any abusive substances, then turned himself into authorities. Pleading no contest, he got a get out of jail free card and spent the night at home in his own bed. Later, as a convicted felon, after being sentenced to 3 years, he was free after 13 months. 13 months for taking a life. A loophole exists in our California law that sentences a driver who has fled the scene to a 2 to 4 year sentence. As Assemblyman Patterson has just told you, we are looking to increase that sentence to 4 to 6 years, a very important 2 years. In an effort to heal and help other California families and carry on our son's legacy, our family has founded the Gavin Gladding Foundation. We fund river camp to send children to camp. We fund students in high school going on to study environmental science, as Gavin did. And we've also partnered with another nonprofit in the Gambia, Africa. My son served and volunteered for his country as a Peace Corps volunteer and spent 2 years there. This help will help send the girls to school for high school. So our family, as so many others, have become collateral damage left behind by the acts of hard-hearted, callous drivers who hit and run and flee. My two grandchildren, you might ask how they have felt for the past 4 years, 6 months, 7 days, having their father not at their sides. I assure you, their answers will break your heart. AB 1067 will strengthen the penalty and awareness of driving drunk. An appeal written by Gavin while at the River Parkway stated, "Together we can turn our hopes into realities." Please let this work begin in this room today. Please vote in favor of Gavin's Law, AB 1067. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Rita. I'm Mike Osageda. I'm speaking to you today on behalf of my sister, Courtney Osageda, and in support of Gavin's Law, AB 1067. This is my second time talking to this committee, and today I'm asking you to care about Courtney, to care about Gavin Gladding, to care about the other victims that this kind of crime happens to. It was a bit over 2 years ago, February 25th, 2021, when my sister Courtney died. She had just left her job at a nursing facility in Oakland. She was about to get into her car when she was struck so hard by a car speeding on the wrong side of the road that she flew out of her shoes. It's baffling. Again, the car was driving on the wrong side of the road. They had driven around a line of stopped cars, sped up, and hit my sister as she was trying to get into her car. So what did the driver do? Certainly not the humane thing. She didn't stop. She didn't see if my sister was okay. She just kept driving and left her there to die. My sister did nothing wrong that day. She was simply walking to her car after finishing her day at work. She was getting ready to go home to her 7-year-old daughter. She was doing things that we all do every single day. Yet the last time I was here to testify on behalf of Gavin's Law, I didn't understand why the discourse revolved more around the victim, around the criminal than the victim. Why not Courtney's daughter? Why not our family? Why not my father? Why not our other two sisters? We are left wondering every day how we can get justice for Courtney. Why is it when a young mother who did nothing wrong gets senselessly killed by a person who literally did everything wrong, the person who took a life can only get a maximum sentence of 4 years? How is my sister's life worth a maximum of 4 years in jail? It just doesn't seem just. I'm here today because I want someone to care about my sister, about Gavin, about the other victims in crimes like this. Now that I'm in this world, I realize how often it happens. And trust me, it happens a lot. There's all kinds of hit and run victims on the news all the time. I've been told anonymously on social media by one of her friends that the woman who hit my sister was drunk that day. That would make her punishment greater, of course. We don't know that for sure. It can't be proven because she left. So we have no idea. And that's the loophole. And that's what AB 1067 will fix. We know justice wasn't served for Gavin's family. The woman who killed my sister is still out on bail and awaiting trial. It's been more than 2 years and countless court hearings. And for 2 years now, I've just felt like nobody cares. But I can't accept that, and I don't think we as a society should accept that. That's why I'm here today asking for your support of this bill. So please, I sit in front of you today and ask you to care about these victims, because this is going to keep happening. So we have to do it for the future victims, we have to do it for Courtney, and we have to do it for Gavin.
Thank you. Any other witnesses in support?
Mira Morton with Stone Advocacy on behalf of the California District Attorneys Association in support.
Any witnesses in opposition?
Danica Rodarmo on behalf of the San Francisco Public Defender in respectful opposition.
Any other witnesses in opposition? Seeing none, bringing it back to committee members for any comments or
Mr.
questions.
Chair, for a moment, I think for the new members, it would be appropriate if I quickly outlined the loophole and the specifics of
You
what.
can do that in your close.
Okay, well, okay.
Okay,
Well, okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, I think it comes as no surprise that most people know that I spent a lot of time dealing with this particular challenge, working for the Highway Patrol for almost 30 years and working during the hours. My 28 years was working when most people were asleep. And so I saw a lot of hit and run circumstances. For a lot of different reasons, people run. Fear for any kind of outcome. But when there's loss of life, it becomes especially egregious. And all you're asking for in this particular measure is that you provide a disincentive to run. And I will tell you that there's a significant amount of people that run because they know they're under the influence. I don't know what those numbers are. We'll never know because it's not proven. But I would hope that we would try to send the message that accountability is important. And the people should, once they've engaged in an unintentional act or even an intentional act, that they should be not rewarded for running. And that's what the current system does. It rewards you for running. And so I'm hoping that we will see that unfairness and support this bill, because I certainly will.
Thank you. Okay. You may now close.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. By way of a bit of history, this bill did receive support from this committee. It did go to the floor of the Assembly. It was passed. It went to the Senate, and by one vote, the Senate Public Safety Committee denied it to go forward. I wanted to give that history because we have worked with this committee and with the chair. The product that is here, the 6 years, the judicial review intact, in addressing what has been described as this loophole, we think is a reasonable and it will be fairly adjudicated, and judges will use their discretion on this. But given historical facts of some cases, it would seem to me that judges may very well want to look at a 6-year maximum using judicial review. Remember, this is about those who run. In the case of the person that struck Gavin, immediately attempted to hide the evidence, reached out to individuals to try to cover up the damage on the car. And as was reported here by the mother, he was alive at the time he was hit and was left to die. And so I think that what we've tried to do, and frankly with the help of the committee, we were looking at different penalty numbers and all of that. We accepted amendments and advice from the committee, and so we made it the 6-year. And obviously judicial discretion remains, and we hope that you'll consider this as a reasonable effort to sort of move the penalty a little closer to the egregious nature of the act. And I appreciate your consideration and hope that you can vote this through.
All right. Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, sorry, he can do it.
Or I'll second it.
Thank you.
Go ahead, call the roll.
On AB 1067 by Assemblymember Jim Patterson, the motion is due pass to the Appropriations Committee. Jones Sawyer.
Not voting.
Jones Sawyer not voting. Alanis.
Aye.
Alanis, aye. Banta.
Not voting.
Banta not voting. Bryan. Lackey.
Aye.
Lackey, aye. Jackson. Santiago. Aye. Santiago, aye. Zibber. Zibber, aye.
You need one more. The measure's on call.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much, members.